Well, this word art couldn't be more applicable. It says, "This is where happiness lives." Yeah, it is. Okay, here we are at Bits and Bobs, and this was a nice large yellow console bowl, art glass, Murano style. You can see the pontil is rough though, and it probably originally had this label saying "in the technique of Murano," so not authentic, but still a nice bowl. And then a nice oval blue carnival glass windmill pattern by Smith Glass. I hadn't seen that in person ever, so that was a nice grab. And then this green glass vase was also kind of cool. $30 on this Princess Amber pattern by Indiana. That's about what you get for it in resale. Still very pretty. And then this blue and white fishnet pattern salt and pepper shakers were pretty cool. I came across this. I thought this might be California pottery or treasure craft based on the texture on the bottom, but it was actually not marked. So I had to assume maybe then it was a hobbyist piece, but I love the color of it and the weight, the size, the whole thing. These are a set of glasses by Siesta Ware. They wanted $6 for the set, and I was tempted. I gave a quick look up on eBay, and they didn't seem to have a sell-through rate, especially if they were a little bit worn. And then a nice Blendo chip and dip set caught my eye. Has this silver caddy on it, but you could see some scuffing there on the bottom. And then a little Amariware, I think Amariware set here. I'm not sure if this is intended for a dollhouse or just as a collectible. I did look and see, no, there was no mark on the bottom of it, so I wasn't really sure. If anybody else knows and they want to say something in the comments, that would be cool to let us, learn a bit. And then a lusterware teapot. Not the biggest deal in the world, but it had this nice detail up around the collar that I hadn't seen before. You can see it under my thumb there. And the pattern was not one that I had seen before either. However, the spout on it was pretty chipped, so I decided that one to leave behind. And same with this. If the gold on this was really worn, this is by Pearl China or China Pearl, 1950s, super cool shape. But yes, the gold was very worn, so I left that. And then this was another thing I left behind, and I kind of wished I grabbed. This is by Lord and Taylor. Doesn't have a super high sell through, but still a neat piece with the equestrian theme to it. I had not ever seen this before, so I did wind up grabbing that to research. And a very pretty, this could be a sugar bowl or like a sauce, side dish kind of thing. But it had these very cool kind of flying buttress handles on the side of it that caught my eye, gave it kind of an Art Nouveau feel, even though it's probably mid-century. It was just a nice form, definitely kind of eye-catching. And then, going down the aisle here, I'm just giving you a glimpse of some of the other stuff that was around. A couple egg cups here. Came across this vase. It was very water stained, but the green in it looked like it might be uranium. I didn't have my flashlight with me to check for sure. And then these I found in the back. These are called Jui cups. I'm probably saying that wrong. Jui. And I believe they are for wine or a warm white wine. But if anybody knows better, please, again, say in the comments, because that's just what I quickly learned about it. And then this was a milk glass plate, Anchor Hawking, Fire King, not exactly sure. Usually the gold on these is pretty well worn off, and this gold was intact. So not a bad plate, actually, for $3, $2.99, $3. And I did think about it, but I checked online real quick, and there were a ton of them listed, so I passed. These also caught my eye, but on closer inspection, I could see they were kind of mass-produced and not too well because they were losing a lot of their enamel. But I like the color scheme of them, that kind of bronze background with some turquoise splashes in there. And this vase next to them, I just checked to be sure, but it did have a big honking chip out of it. You can see in the rim there. And a little glass decanter up there. Oh my God, this cow. I felt so bad. Look, he's screaming because all 4 of his legs are broken. Every leg is broken. This poor guy. Look at him. He's like so much pain. Oh. And you guys have probably seen these before, this pattern out there. This is a reproduction, modern Frankenstein kind of thing. It's like a mix between Daisy and Buttons and maybe Stars and Bars, but it's not vintage. It's mass produced. And then I know there's a brand of something that looks like this. It kind of almost looks like Plaster Funhouse, but it's worth a couple bucks reselling, and I can't seem to figure out what it is. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, again, in the comments. And a couple uranium salad plates or bread and butter plates, whatever you want to call them. I think they're about 8 inches across. I know some people are very picky about that. I had somebody return a plate to me because it was a luncheon plate and not a salad plate. This, I did think, was gonna possibly be something special. Something about it caught my eye. It was a bit unique, and, that pattern wasn't anything I really had seen. I flipped it over, and it turns out it's mass-produced. The brand is La Vie, and they had, I think, $6.99 on there, and the resale on them is about 15 bucks. And a pair of USA Pottery pedestal coffee mugs, which, if they were a little bit chipped on the top, I would have maybe considered grabbing them. But again, not a big resale price on that. And then this cup, I honestly thought there were 2 of them, but it had this interesting logo on the bottom that kind of piqued my interest, and I wanted to look into it a bit more. And then a nice solid piece of milk glass. They wanted $2.99 on this. Oh, by the way, we're over at Thrifty Shopper now, if you can't tell the difference in background. But this was Brody, and they're just a nice, solid milk glass producer. And then I also found this little bonbon dish, which I thought would repurpose well for some other accessory dish in your vintage home. So I did grab that for $1.99. I also came across this, and I know some of the peanut stuff can go for a couple bucks. This was completely intact, $5.99, but when I took it out, I noticed it had a lot of water staining on it, or I don't even know what that staining was, but I wasn't really interested in finding out. And I looked online, they sell for like 12 bucks.
All right, well, this will be a really quick haul video. I didn't find a ton of stuff. I went to Bits and Bobs, you saw, and then Thrifty Shopper. And thankfully I didn't spend a bunch of money, so that's always a good thing. Starting over at Bits and Bobs, I did find this piece of carnival glass. It's the windmill pattern. I hadn't bought it before, so I figured I'd grab it. Didn't have a price tag on it, which usually means they're going to give me a pretty reasonable price. So this is actually from the 1980s, and it is by Smith Glass. I got it probably for a couple bucks, and I have it already listed at $22. I found this green vase. I haven't looked it up yet. It kind of reminds me of a Morgantown green, but I'm not sure, and only $2. So eventually you'll see this on the eBay store, and we'll figure out what it is, hopefully. Otherwise, just a green glass vase, and it's very thin, so... I did find this. I don't think this one actually had a price on it either, so probably just a couple bucks. But when I picked it up, this green on the bottom made me think it might be uranium, but unfortunately I didn't have my flashlight lit with me, and when I got home and I tested it, this was not uranium. What else did we get? This had 2 price tags on it, so I'm not actually sure what I spent. It said $10 and it said $6. This is by Arnart. Or it's by Andre Sadak. I saw this actually listed as both. Price point is still, I think, around 20 bucks is what I decided to put it up for, yeah. And then there is a mark on the bottom. So you can see that there. So if anybody wants to confirm with me whether it's Andre by Sadak or if it's from Arnart, that would be great. I found this also over at Bits and Bobs. I'd never seen one of these before. So this is from Japan. This is mid-century, and it is a ceramic hip flask. And it does have a bit of cording on it. Missing the cork, but that's not a big deal. I'm sure I have one I can replace. It has this beautiful design on it. It's got the fish there. And then a bit of a floral on the back. And then this very neat shape to, obviously, sit on your hip. So... that was a cool piece. And this I'll probably put up, I think, probably like 30, 40 bucks. I see them listed, again, these are listed for like up to 100 bucks, but I don't see anything selling in that price range. So it's kind of, I'm going to go on the lower end side and just, hopefully find somebody who treasures it. I'm not going to try and make a fortune off of this. It was more for education. These I found also at Bits and Bobs. I thought these might be by Horrend. They do a blue fishnet pattern that's very desirable and has a good resale value. But as I looked a little further, I realized, once again, Andrea by Sadak, that possible is also possibly the maker of these, and that is probably more the case. Just looking at the quality of them and a little bit of the inconsistency in the pattern, I'm gonna go with Andrea by Sadak, but still like a $20 pair of very attractive salt and pepper shakers. What else do we got? So yeah, that was it from Bits and Bobs. And then over at Thrifty Shopper, actually from Bits and Bobs, there was that big ceramic seashell bowl. I did get that. I already sold it. And I'm thinking it's coming back because the person who bought it complained that it wasn't true to color and that I should probably not use a flash and photograph in natural light. I took the picture right here, which you guys know by now is natural light. I'm in a barn doorway, so I'm not sure, but you can't please everybody. I told her she has every right to send it back. She doesn't like it. 60-day return policy, yesterday's braid. Whatever. I would love to actually have it back because that was one I didn't want to sell anyway. So, And then this was a Thrifty Shopper, $2.99 I think is on it. This is by E.O. Brody. They made a ton of like kind of run-of-the-mill milk glass, but it's good quality milk glass. It's like sturdy. It'll pack away well. You can kind of bang on it a little bit, use it in your tablescapes, whatever. It's good quality milk glass. So that's why I grabbed that. $2.99. I'll probably list it for like $15. Also, there is a sale going on right now. I'm having a tablescape fridge-scaping sale. $10 off your order of $50 or more. So that is going on. Also at Thrifty Shopper, I found this tumbler, and I thought there were actually two of them, but when I double-checked myself, there was only one. It has this very nice optic diamond pattern, and then on the bottom, there is a logo, which the only match I found so far is for something called Double Dutch, but their logo doesn't actually match this, so I'm not sure if the person who has a few of these listed has misidentified them. So to you guys, if you happen to know the double D interlocking logo, who that is, it's driving me crazy. Please let me know in the comments. I spent $1.99 on this. I should have bought it. I should have left it behind because there weren't two, but I was so intrigued. I was like, you know what? Let's see what it is. And then there were two uranium dishes you saw. $2.99 each. I'll probably sell them for $10 a piece. This is the fruits pattern by Hazel Atlas. It has pears, grapes, and cherries on it. So I actually hadn't seen this one in person before, so it was a fun pickup there. And then this is the Block Optic by Hazel Atlas, right? No, Anchor Hocking. I was confused what's Anchor Hocking, what's Hazel Atlas, just because of the quantity of stuff that they made. But so I grabbed both of those for $2.99, and I will probably sell them for $10 a piece. And then there was one last little piece of milk glass. This was $1.99. This is by Anchor Hocking, and it's just a little like bonbon dish. But I thought it'd be cute if somebody wants to use it in their bathroom. It's like a seasonal soap dish or a sponge dish. It's a nice little piece of vintage glass to find a purpose for. So overall, Bits and Bobs, I spent, what was it, $50? $54. And over at Thrifty Shopper, I spent $14. No, I got that wrong. Bits and Bobs, I spent $40. Thrifty Shopper, I spent $14. So total $54. And I'm hoping to get a resale on all this stuff of around $160 to $170. So about $100 profit, hopefully, for two stores. I wish it could be a little bit better, but it's better than nothing. So that is it for this video. On to the next, and hopefully the next treasure hunt will have some funner stuff in it, but still, this was a good round. I would say this and this are my favorites, with the salt shakers really coming in close there. But that's it for today. For you guys tuning in for the first time, my name is Liz. This is yesterday's braid, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.